All right, so in this week's guitar lesson, you're gonna learn how to play a fun little Delta blues all by yourself with an acoustic or electric guitar, whichever one you got. It sounds great either way. And this one is so much fun to play because it's easy. And I always get in trouble anytime I say something's easy because somebody will remind me that it's not easy for them. But I'm telling you, this is pretty easy stuff, relatively speaking easy. And that's what makes it so fun. It's not like super technical, super complicated. And what really makes this work is two ideas that we're going to be playing off. The first idea is we're going to repeat ourselves quite a bit. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to make up new licks. The blues guys do this all the time. They'll take one phrase, one idea, and they'll just kind of keep using it. And we're going to do that as we play this. The other idea is we're going to take advantage of that open one string and fatten up the sound, which I did a lesson a few weeks ago on. It was popular. I wanted to come back to this idea. So here's what it's going to sound like. All right, so in this video, we're gonna break it all down note for note. I'll explain how to play all of that. If you want the tab PDF file and also the on-screen tab viewer, which is interactive, tab and video on the screen at the same time, no talking in it, just a quick way to get through everything that I'm talking through in this. And you can loop sections and slow down playback, all of that stuff. And also an added bonus, I've thrown in how to do this in a minor key. So I've tabbed that out as well. So you can get all those extra materials for this lesson by going to activemelody.com and doing a search for ML146. All right, so we're gonna be in the key of E. So our chords are gonna be E, A, and B, B7. And if you wanna do this in a different key, just grab a capo and put a capo down. The reason you'd have to use a capo is because we're gonna be using that open one string as our drone string. So the technique is really just a hybrid picked technique. If you're a fingerstyle player, you can still do this too. You just use your thumb instead of the pick, where I'm gonna explain the pick stuff. But the idea is you're gonna pick any of the notes that aren't the first string, and pretty much all these notes, like 99% of everything we're gonna be playing is minor pentatonic scale, pattern 1 and pattern 2. We are going to be playing the major third in some spots, which kind of pull it into the major pentatonic scale. But other than that, minor pentatonic scale. And so we're going to be picking those pentatonic notes. But what makes it sound so Delta bluesy-ish is that droned E string, that one string. And so you get this sound. And so I'm using my ring finger to pluck that first string. Some of you may want to use that. Some of you may want to use your middle finger. I've seen it done either way. So just kind of experiment with which finger works best. But that's the idea, picking on strings 3, 2, and 4, and then plucking on the first string. Okay, so here's the first little phrase we're gonna look at, which is a sort of classic turnaround. Right? It's a great way to kick off a blues or just use as a turnaround. And there's a lot of variations on this. I've heard this done a million ways, but what I like about this is the simplicity of it, because look at my left hand. One finger. You can do this with one finger. Walking it down from the 4th fret 3rd string down to the 3rd, down to the 2nd, and then a hammer on to the 1st. So what makes it sound good is by adding that drone string. So we're going to hit 2 of those every time we do the note on the 3rd string, like this. And try and get that hammer on in there, flat 3 to the major 3rd. That happens all the time in the blues. And then go to your B7 chord, your 5 chord. So when I played that, I'm picking on the 5th string, which is my B note. I'm plucking the open 2nd string, which is a B note, or B string. And then I hit with my, or pluck with my ring finger, the 3rd string. So that's the intro. Now watch this. We're gonna get into the song with this. That's the first little lick over the E chord. And And what I'm doing is I'm sliding up to the 4th fret 3rd string. And by the way, I'm thinking about the minor pentatonic scale pattern 2. That's where I'm at in my head when I come to this. And then sliding back down to pattern 1 of my minor pentatonic. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about, what I'm visualizing. And I'm gonna, listen to this, I'm gonna pluck this E string 2 times. So here's the first one, there's the second one. And now notice I came down to that major 3rd. That's the note that makes it not minor pentatonic scale. It gives it that major sound. And you hear this in the blues quite a bit. I attribute this sound to John Lee Hooker. I hear him do a lot of the minor stuff with the drone string, and then adding that major 3rd. The North Mississippi All-Stars, the guy, what's his name? Luther, he does this quite a bit as well. But anyway, that's the idea, is hitting that drone string over the first 2 notes, and then we're gonna walk it down. Now, once I come down to here, my left hand is gonna go ahead and just get in position for my E chord so that I can do. So when you take those ideas together, here's the intro, here's the first lick. Now watch this. Once I hit this, I'm gonna hit that low E string, I'm gonna do up, down, and then, so hit that. This is your challenge, right? You're gonna hit the low E string, up, down, A chord, just using one finger to bar, and then back to your E chord, but hammer on your index finger like this, and then an upstroke. So when you play that E chord, you're really doing like a triplet. 1, 2, 3, triple A. So all together, that first lick then goes like this. I'm just gonna loop it. This would be a great exercise if you get nothing else. Just loop this first lick and take it slow. Take it as slow as you need to. You're the metronome. You get to set the tempo for however you want it. And what I'm doing when I hit that A chord is I'm just pivoting off the 1 chord. I talk about this quite a bit, but this can happen, piano players do it. If you're hanging out on a chord, you can always play whatever chord you're hanging out on, you can play its 4 chord. So in this case, if it's an E chord, I'm gonna play its 4 chord, which is an A. You can just go back and forth. And that works, right? That can represent my E chord. All right, so the next lick goes like this. Then we go back to that same little shuffle, E to the A to the E. So that part's the same. So we're already starting to repeat ourselves, but this, let me show you what I'm doing. I'm coming up into pattern 2 of my minor pentatonic scale for E, sliding up to that 4th fret 3rd string again, and then index finger down on the 3rd fret 2nd string, which is my flat 7. And when I hit that, I'm also plucking the open 1 string. So basically, every time I hit this 3rd fret 2nd string, I include this note. You could, I guess, strum that if you wanted. You could do it that way, but we're trying to do this hybrid picking thing just to keep it consistent. So it's, and then we're just gonna slide back down. So when you put those first 2 licks together, you have, see that you've already got like a whole lot. If you get nothing else out of this lesson, just walk away with that as an idea that you can incorporate into your playing. All right, so we're still on the E portion of the song, the 1 chord. I've got another lick, another phrase. It goes like this. Right? I love this one. I use this one all the time. It sounds good and it's pretty easy to play. We're still in this pattern 2 of the minor pentatonic. So what I'm doing is I'm doing a hammer on between the 3rd fret and the 5th fret on the 2nd string. And what that gives you is 2 E notes. They're the exact same note, exact same pitch. So you'd say, well, why would you want to do that if they're the same? Well, it just fattens it up, especially when you're coming at it from, on the one below it from a hammer on. Right? Haven't you heard that from Jimmy Vaughn, from John Lee Hooker? That sound. So we're gonna go. And then I come down to this 2nd fret 3rd string, and when I hit that, I also include the open 1 string. So all together, I have that. And then little hammer on again to the major 3rd of the E chord. And then I do my same little strum like we did before. Okay, so after this, there's my E chord, watch this. We're gonna go to the A chord. And here's how I did it. So I went from the 3rd fret 6th string, slid up to the 4th fret, and then the open A string, because we're going to the 4 chord, which is our A chord. And I played an A7, just like this, barring the first 4 strings on the 2nd fret, ring finger down on the 3rd fret 1st string. I love the sound of that voicing. It's just such a classic sound you hear in the Delta blues. So you have and then even though the song is technically still on the A chord, I just went back to E minor pentatonic scale. I'm thinking key of the song, not necessarily what chord we're on. So we just played the A7, which was very literal, right? But then I just went right back to this same lick, the John Lee Hooker lick, or the Jimmy Vaughn lick. And I played the lick like this. Now notice I'm strumming this on the first 2 strings. There's the flat 3 in the root. And then we come down to here. 2nd fret 3rd string with the open 1 string. And then that gets us back to the E. Notice every time I go to that E chord, I do the little hammer on from the flat 3 to the 3. All right, so we went down to the E. Now watch this. I did the same lick. We're repeating ourselves now. So that's coming up here and sliding into pattern 2 of my minor pentatonic scale. And I'm hitting strings 1 and 2 here. Index finger on the 3rd fret 2nd string, and then that open E string. And then back to my E chord. Now watch this. I threw in the flat 7 with my pinky, just made an E7 chord. All right, so let's back it up from the beginning and just sort of recap what we've looked at so far. We've got this. To the A. E7. Now the song goes to the 5 chord, which is our B chord, and I play this. So what I'm doing there is I'm doing kind of the same idea of letting the 1 string drone out like we've done, but since it's the 5 chord, which is our B, it just so happens with the tuning of the guitar, if you're playing in the key of E, your 5 chord is a B, and I've got an open B string. So what can I do to kind of play off of that open B string? I'm just sliding up from the 2nd fret to the 4th fret on that 3rd string. That's a B note, that's a B note. So I'm doubling up the B note, just like I did up here with the E. I'm doing the same thing now for the B. And then I play the B7 like that. I'll put the tab up for exactly the way I played it. But that was the idea. So the song goes from the B to the A. We go back to the 4 chord. Now I could have went like this. Right? That would have worked. But instead I went like this. And did the same lick. I repeated the lick. So I hit the open A string, but other than that, I just went back to the key of the song. I went back to my E minor pentatonic stuff. So notice that these licks that we've learned, this one, this one, this one, these can be used for pretty much all the chords. I can just keep coming back to them and using them in different ways and kind of changing the timing. The song can go to the A chord. You notice that even over the A chord, it still works. It's still sort of in reference. As long as I can set it up by playing the A note or even touching on the chord at some point, then I can break out of it and go back to the licks of the key of the song. So for the A then, I hit the open A string and then back to the same lick. Now watch this. Here's the second turnaround. And this is the same as the first one. The first one we just went like this, right? We used this note. Well, I'm gonna use that note again, 4th fret, 3rd string, but I'm gonna play a different bass note this time. So I'm doing it a little different. 5th fret, 5th string for that. Now when I'm playing this, I'm hybrid picking. So I'm picking on the 5th string now and I'm using my ring finger to pluck the 3rd string and then come up here and pluck the 1st string. And just take that shape down. Down to my E chord. So, and then to conclude it, I just went, just play my E chord, pinky down 2nd fret, 2nd string, slide it up one so it's playing the flat 7. And you could do that, or you could just loop it. Just play your 5 chord. Go right back through the cycle. So you can either loop it if you want, or you can sort of cap it off by playing the flat 7 there. So that's the idea behind this open 1 string and repeated licks. I mean, once you can sort of realize that you don't have to reinvent the wheel, you can just find a little phrase that you like and maybe you massage it a little bit and change the timing of it, or something like that. But you don't have to always be racking your brain for doing something new. Just take these phrases and reuse them. That's what your heroes did. Your blues heroes did that. All right, remember you can go to activemelody.com and do a search for ML146 where you can see the tab for how to play this in a minor key. And I've also got the tab for everything we looked at in this if you want a printable version or downloadable. All right, we'll see you next week for something new.